After talking about the best cards yesterday, in my opinion, from United Installment, let's take a look at the worst ones, in my opinion, from United Installment as well. Couple things for that. I am a wild player, this is not for standard, I don't play that mode, I play wild, and I mostly play fun decks. That being said, even if I want to make a card work in a fun deck, if the card sucks, it's pretty hard. And we're gonna start with Grant Magus Antonidas. This card is so bad, I don't even know why they made it like this. So, kind of like Elementals and Angoro, you need to have at least multiple turns in advance where you plan on using this card. And what you gotta do is you gotta cast a fire spell in each of your last 3 turns. That's so difficult. Even just playing an Elemental, so your Elemental next turn gets the benefit, that was difficult. Now you got 3 fire spells? No, there's no way. I would say I'm gonna drop out of school if this guy would be my teacher. There's no way. He might throw firebolts, but what is your reward? You deal 18 damage on 3 different targets. There's one achievement that you have to deal lethal damage with this, or all the firebolts hit the enemy's face and then they blow up. That's gonna be a pain. Yeah, no. This card sucks. But at least we have Antonidas number 2. Then we get City Architect. I once wanted to be an architect, and then I instead listened to the band. Well, there's this one card in Karazhan, which I think is called, I don't know, it's a 4-mana 3/2, summon a 0/5 with Taunt. It's kind of the same thing, just in bigger, and you summon Taunt minions. Unless you want to play something like Wall Shaman with like a Shudderwock in there, and then you summon a bunch of Taunt stuff and annoy your opponent. Is there a point in having this card? It doesn't do anything, like, your Taunt minions can't attack. You could say that this card restores, I guess, 10 health or up to 10, and even more, perhaps, but there's no point in playing this, you know? But hey, at least we have the Karazhan card in a new version. Then, Cargo Guard. Unless you play like Drakari Enchanter to make this effect trigger twice so you get 6 armor, you play a 3-mana 2/4, just, you know, in stats, and then you restore 3 health or you gain 3 armor. What's the point? The only synergistic cards you have with that is like, I guess Shield Slam, maybe like Reckless Flurry. This guy doesn't do much. Like, you know when you play Armor Smith into Risky Skipper and you get like 50 armor? Yeah, this card gives you 3. I would even just play the Lackey guy, the evil, whatever it's called, which is a 2/3, but also gives you a Lackey. And the armor. This card is just, no, you wouldn't play it, let's be honest here. And then, and I want to apologize for including this card. It looks so pretty in golden, okay? Can we just talk about that for a second? This looks so sick. Yeah, I'm gonna craft this in golden twice and play it, for sure. 2 of those in my Reno Warlock, and it will not work. The problem is Dreadsteed was never good. I mean, it used to be good when it got summoned immediately, but before they created the file in Knights of the Frozen Throne, they had to change how Dreadsteed works. Dreadsteed is so bad. It deals 1 damage a turn. I can even tell you, when you play something like Nomi, or you play Nero, or you just played the Lakari Sacrifice quest where you summon stuff at the end of every turn, that also doesn't do much. Like, think about it this way. If you summon 3 2s 6 times every single turn because of the Nero portal, and that doesn't do much. This one deals 1 damage and summons a Dreadsteed. Yeah, no. Like, just no. But it looks so cool and I'm gonna play it, but it's so bad. And then, Enthusiastic Banker. So at the end of your turn, you store a card from your deck, and Death Rattle, you get the stored cards to your hand. I am not sure if storing means you take the card out of your deck, put it into this card, and then you get it to your hand. So it's kind of like drawing a card, but delayed. If we were to just draw a card, it would be good. At the end of your turn, it would be like a Mana Tide Totem, but better. Actually, you can think about this like a Mana Tide Totem, but there's one problem. In this expansion, we get multiple cards, especially the 1-mana spell for Priest, that just silences everything. That means, I hope we can see which card is stored in there. If your opponent were to see which card is stored in this minion, and it's like Zephyrus or Reno, for example, they just sap it, they just silence that, they just yoink it. This card is just bad. It just destroys your deck. Could be good though, but I don't know. I think this card is going to see no play. Unless you give it to your opponent, and then you yoink it back. That could be fun, actually. You play Treachery on this, give it to your opponent, and then eventually you take it back. Could be fun. Next one, Lion's Frenzy. I don't see a world in where draw cards in Demon Hunter, especially in Wild, is going to be a thing. Like, this card does absolutely nothing. It even loses 1 durability when you use your hero power to attack, but it does absolutely nothing unless you draw a bunch of cards. there's this one card for Warrior for 2 mana called Bladed Gauntlet, where it has attack equal to your armor. Yeah, that is at least... Okay, that's also garbage, but this one is even worse. It looks cool though, gotta say. It looks cool, but what's the point? There's so many better weapons. Then Package Runner. I would have thought this card is good, because you summon a 3 mana 5/6, but it isn't. If you were to play something like Even Warlock, which is the Hand Warlock, but for Wild, you can't use this card because it's odd cost. If you were to play Silence Priest just for the stats, you can just play the Humongous Razor Leaf, the 3 mana 4/8, which is better stats than that. So yeah, this card is just bad. Maybe in like a Handlock in Standard this will see play, but in Wild, no point. No point in doing that. Leatherworking Kit for Hunter. After 3 friendly beasts die, draw a beast and give it +1/+1. So first of all, you gotta spend 2 mana on this card to get it. Then you don't have a weapon you can attack with. Then you also have beasts on your board that have to die. And all you do is you draw a card and buff it by 1/1. This seems so bad. There might be like a Quest Hunter, you know, the old quest where you gotta summon 20 minions, which might be fun to play, but I think this is really bad. It is like really not good. I also think it's weird that we have weapons in the game like this one, which are not weapons. I mean, technically you could attack with those knives and whatever else is in the leatherworking kit, but you have no attack on that. Why not have this one as like a secondary part on your screen, like a shield or like an equip spell, card, whatever, and a weapon. So you could have this one and like a bow equipped that deals 3 damage, and this one still is active. But whatever, I'm just giving the team ideas. Wicker Claw. Definitely a good card perhaps if you were to play Quest Druid, but you need to play Quest Druid, which is bad. You gotta attack and give your, you know, gotta give your hero attack and get armor, and no, like, if you want to play Gonk Druid, play Gonk Druid. If you don't want to play Gonk Druid, then don't give your hero attack. The hero power is one of the worst things in Druid, especially in Wild. Like, there's a reason why you play Sir Finley Murgleton in like Token Druid, to have a different hero power. This is bad. This is bad. But if you play for fun, and you play like a themed deck for Druid, and you want to be like, I'm a feral Druid and I'm attacking, this is the card for you. Just know that you will lose many games. Next one, Lost in the Park. Oh no, somebody lost his guff in the park. The reward of, you know, getting armor and attacking a bunch of times is this card over here. Guff, the man, or the beast. It's a 5 mana 8/8 taunt, that's good, and it's a beast, also alright, even though it dies to a Helmet Nesting Berry, just saying. Battlecry, give you a hero +8 attack this turn, gain 8 armor. Wow. Like, wow, you gotta play Quest Druid? And this is your reward. It's like, I would expect to win the game when I play this, but no. Hey, it's not too bad though. But no. And then Rise to the Occasion. In short, you gotta play a bunch of different one-cost cards, and eventually you get Lightborn Carriel. Compare this card to like Lord Thraxion in Odd Paladin. Even just the normal hero power in Odd Paladin. Why would I buff my Silver End Recruits by +2/+2? I can't use this in Even Paladin, obviously, so I can't just summon stuff. I can use it in Odd Paladin, but for that I need to completely disrupt how the deck works, and then I just buff them by, like, no. I'd rather play Lothraxion and don't have, like, any downside. This is just bad. But it's a cool idea if you just like to play the dudes. Next is Sigil of Alacrity. In my last video I mentioned that this is not a real word. It is. It means... I forgot it, but one of you guys pointed out that this Alacrity is a word, and now I know. At the start of your next turn, draw a card and reduce its cost by 1. So you spend technically 0 mana and you draw a card, which in itself is not bad. But you spend 1 mana right now to get a benefit next turn. Do you want to do that in Demon Hunter? I feel like you just want to win on like turn 4 or 5, and rather play like a Battle Fiend that grows in stats. I could see this card actually in like a slow/control-ish, maybe Death Rattle focused or Reno Demon Hunter, but are those decks good? Let's be honest here, no, not really. Nah. I compared this to, you know how in Yu-Gi-Oh! When you play like Heart of Greed and you drew 2 cards immediately, which is still banned, I think. Or you could play Jar of Greed, which drew you 1 card next turn. It's like, why don't you just draw the card immediately and win the game? That's my mindset on this, nah, not a good one. Pretty simple one here, Stormwind Guard. It's like Argus, but bigger, so no. That's it, there's not much to talk about. Cowardly Grunt. Why is this one a 6-2? Like, what's the point? I would need to play like a Recruit Warrior, then use the Recruit spell to get this card, then it doesn't do anything, and then when it dies I summon another minion. So for that, not that bad, but why don't I just play a different minion to begin with, which I then summon because of Recruit? Or that I just play from my hand? Like, even crush a lot of turtling, you know, like, anything. What's the point of the card? Like, I don't fully get it. So you can thin your deck? No, doesn't really make sense. Then we got Tiny Toys. I do like the idea of this, and the artwork, it's so cool. You have like mini Ragnaros, mini Malygos, I think. Got a Cthulhu's eye in the background. You even get like Barnes staying like this over here, flexing his iced out Rolex. But no, there are so many bad 5-cost minions. There is, for example, Bomb Squad, which deals 5 damage to your face. There is Fell River, where you just burn your own cards if your opponent plays stuff. There are many bad 5-cost minions in Wild. There are also a couple good ones. There's Ziliax, for example, and there is Ziliax, and there's probably something with charge, like Leroy. But overall, 6 mana, 8/8 in stats, and it can backfire hard. Or it gives you something good, I don't know. I think this might see playing like Big Shaman, but you probably don't want to play this. You rather do something else for 6 mana that actually has an impact and it helps you win the game, instead of playing that. But you can always use Bloodlust next turn and then maybe win, yeah, no. Last one is Imported Tarantula. Pretty simple. If you play Hunter and Wild, you either win on like turn 5 or 6 when you play Even Hunter or Odd Hunter, or you play Hyper Aggressive, maybe even Secret Hunter, but there's no Beast Hunter. Maybe you can put this into Reno Hunter, but then what's the point? Like, I always think about what happens the very turn I play this card. I either use 1 mana and trade this card and get another one, which is not the point of playing this, or I summon a 4 mana 4/5, period, right? This doesn't have rush or charge in itself. Your opponent will need to trade, or they just ignore this. If you play any aggressive deck, then yeah, you lose on turn 5. That's not good. And even if this dies, you will need to wait until your opponent has a big board. I'm speaking really fast, by the way, sorry. Your opponent has a big board, you trade into that, and then you have 2 little spiders, 2 little Spider-Mans, 2 Tobey Maguires that have rush and charge and poisonous and all that, and then you trade 2 more big minions. Technically, if your opponent wants to go in and play a bunch of Giants and Darkglare Warlock, the turn after you play this, technically, if you think about that, you destroy the Giants. But that doesn't happen. And even then, they can just silence that or do anything about that. No, this card is also bad. I feel like most tradable cards that are not like situational, like BUs or Silence a Minion, they're not really that good. So yeah, that's just my own list of cards that probably won't see play. But let's be honest here, in every expansion, like 80%, 90% of cards don't see play in Wild at all. Wild is so refined, I don't think any of those cards is really going to make like a new archetype. You could make a couple new OTKs, which might not be too bad. But overall, you just make existing decks better in most cases. So I think the cards you've seen in here, they won't make existing decks better. They'll probably make some meme archetypes here and there. I'm gonna have fun with them. I'm gonna play all those cards. Mark is going to have fun with them, making different combos. So that's gonna be enjoyable. But if you play ranked and you play to win, probably not the cards you should look forward for. But well, that's it from me. Let me know what you think is the worst card, and then I know about it. Yes. Have a good rest of your day. Tomorrow, games against Zeddy. Monday, my personal favorites on this expansion. And until next time, take care.